And welcome back to another episode of 100 Ways to Make 100K. In this episode, I want to introduce you to someone by the name of Hanan Nigma. Now, she looks really nice, but she's a stone cold killer if you step into the arena with her. She knows deals, okay? Now, she explains her transition from a career in healthcare to a career in real estate, and she explains what she did to earn her first 100K and what she thinks it's going to take for her to earn her next one. Ladies and gentlemen, Hanan Nigma.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for asking. Now, do you have a second for us? We got a quick question for you.
For sure.
All right, we just wanted to know, have you ever made 100K in a year before?
I have.
Okay, you got to break it down. We'd love to know. How did you do it?
So I became a realtor and I established a good enough reputation to get some clients to work with me. And real estate has a lot of money. You got to put in a lot of hours, but the commissions are good, the sales are good, and the transactions are large.
Okay, so you're telling us all about what you do, but I think we forgot to get your name. What's your name?
My name's Hanan.
And Hanan, do you have a last name or somewhere we can find you online?
Yes, Hanan Nigma. I'm on all socials, so Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all that good stuff. Hanan Nigma.
All right, awesome. So you said the first thing that you did was build up your brand. So I'm curious, as a new realtor, right, what type of things do you do to establish your brand? What are some of the things that are, that resonate with your brand? I'd love to know a little bit more.
Putting the client first. So the most important thing during any transaction that I'm doing is the client's interest. So I always have that front of mind, and I think clients are able to feel that because it's not just about a transaction for me. It's actually about their outcomes and what they would like to happen during the transaction, and that's my main focus. So I literally work for them, not for the money, for them.
Interesting. So where did you learn that? Like, how do you just get started? Because a lot of people jump into the game and they're like, oh yeah, like I'm ready to get this commission. They got that commission breath.
Of course, yeah. I'm generally really empathetic. I like helping people. I tried healthcare before this career, and it wasn't my thing, but I knew I still wanted to help people. So I found that with the large scale of the transactions for homes and real estate and all the money involved in it, I realized people are really, really passionate about the transactions, and that made me be empathetic to make sure that my clients' interests are in mind, because usually it's lifelong savings. It's a lot of money involved. So people's life does change with the transactions they do related to real estate.
Interesting. Okay. So Hanan, have you ever made 100K in a month before?
Not monetarily, but probably in equity, yes.
Okay, you got to break that down. What does that even mean?
So I've purchased real estate that skyrocketed with market appreciation. Probably a little bit over a month it took for it to appreciate over 100K. But monetarily, no, I have not made 100K in cash in a month.
Interesting. What's the closest that you've got in cash?
I've made a lot of money. I would say...
Come on, ballpark it for us. You got to tell us.
I could say that in the last quarter of this year, I made more money than I've made in the last 2 years combined.
Jeez. Okay, first of all, congrats. So what do you think it'll take to get you to 100 grand in a month?
I believe it will take more passion and hours and client care. It would also take growth, expanding, delegating, and growing my team so that I'm able to service more and more clients and do a better job with every transaction.
Interesting. Okay, do you think we could dive into that 100 grand in equity that you were mentioning a little while ago? Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the deal. Like, what type of property was it? Where was it located? How did you find it?
So it's actually a personal residence that I bought for myself, and I purchased it at a time where the market seemed hot, and within just a couple months later, the market had appreciated to become even hotter and hotter. So my property was now worth way more than what I paid just about 2 months ago, and it was around that 100K mark. So that's how quick real estate moves, and obviously markets comes in waves, so it's not always going to happen, but things like that do grow you really quickly.
Interesting. So you mentioned a few different things that are going to be required in order to take your business to the next level. Now you mentioned things like delegating, putting in more hours, right? What are some of those first moves, and what do you think your next right move is?
So I think the first right move I did was partnering with somebody that I thought was at my level and has a different set of skill sets. And I partnered with a local realtor, Sheldon Harrison, and I believe that was the first right step. I think the next right step is to eliminate a lot of the background work we do that's behind the client care. So admin, assistance, and social media, things like that. So I think once we have that established, we can start adding agents to our team and just growing from there. The more people that know us, the more services we'll be able to provide.
Interesting. So I got a question about partnerships. Now, a lot of people say these you should avoid them, right? Don't go into business with people, yada yada yada, and they have all these excuses and these reasons as to why you shouldn't. So I'm curious to know, like, how did you find the right partner, and how did you know that it was going to work out? I'd love to hear.
I don't think you'll ever know that because even people you know change when money comes into the play. I think it was kind of natural for me and Sheldon to get together for business just because our skill sets really balance each other out. He has a total different mindset being a gentleman and I am a female, so I think our skills are highlighted in different areas from different experiences and different lifestyles, and combined we're able to get results that I don't think either of us can get alone. And I think just noticing that and not thinking that you know it all and you have all the information, no matter how strong and dedicated and a hard worker you are, there's always more growth when there's more people involved. And I think you can't be extremely self-centered when it comes to profits and things like that, because the growth ultimately makes everybody's pockets grow. So even if you got to share some of your profits or anything like that, it shouldn't be a hinder on the growth that's going to come from joining your business with somebody else.
Interesting. Hanan, thanks for all the wisdom. So one more question, actually.
Okay.
What would you go back, the old healthcare Hanan, what would you go back, and what would this current Hanan tell the old Hanan? I'm wondering what advice you'd have for yourself before you even got into real estate or before you started even making real money.
I would say never trade your time for dollars. Being an entrepreneur, the freedom of time is probably the most thing I appreciate. If I made just as much money as I made in my healthcare field in any other field and I got to do it as an entrepreneur, I would definitely go that way. I feel like making more money is just to free up more time, and if I could tell anybody to get out of the rat race, that would be the best advice I have for everyone.
Beautiful. And Hanan, one more time, where can we find you online?
Social media, Hanan Nigma, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and my own website as well, nigmarealestate.com.
Beautiful. Hanan, thank you so much. We appreciate your advice and all your wisdom.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
You're awesome.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And that's Hanan Nigma's route to her first 100K. Thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm your host, Javon.ca, and I'm so excited to introduce you to our next guest. We'll see you next week on 100 Ways to Make 100K. Peace.